Okay, so I have tested this game. This is Dying Light, the Beast, on the RTX 5090 first. And now I'm moving on to the AMD GPU that I have, which is the RX 9060 XT. This is a basically $350 GPU. I got it for less than that. This is 16 gigabyte GPU. And let me just go through the graphics, the drivers. As you can see, this is the latest drivers, revision 2. And let's go back to the game and see the graphic settings that I'm running right now. It's giving me 24 FPS, but again, this is running at 4K with native TAAU. I know the TAA sucks ass. This one is a modified version of TAA, but still sucks ass. And because there is no DLAA, DLAA is the only one that looks better. So this, it has frame generation. It has the FSR 4. So when I want to use upscaling, I'm gonna use FSR 4, and it's gonna look better. All right, so as you can see right now, it's giving me 23 FPS, 22 FPS in this old town scenery, and using 9.7 gigabytes of VRAM and 7.9 gigabytes of RAM. Let's go back. So let's go and just look at FSR. Use FSR. Not DLSS, okay. FSR quality, I put DLSS there by default because I basically I have only GPU, NVIDIA GPUs. This is the only AMD GPU that I have. So let's use FSR on quality, and as you can see right now, it dropped from 9.7 gigabytes of VRAM to 8.9, basically close to a gigabyte of VRAM just by using FSR quality setting or preset. And it bumped me from 22 FPS to 35 FPS at 4K high settings. So this is how it looks and how it runs on this settings and on this GPU. So what if this is still not a playable experience for you? You can always go keep a good look at the screen right now, right? Memorize this picture. And right now I'm gonna go and drop the settings to medium. Right, I'm gonna drop the settings to medium. Gonna save them. Nope, I don't want TAAU. I want FSR on quality, which is what I want, and save it medium quality. And as you can see right now, it gained me 3 more FPS from 35 to 38, while basically looking exactly the same. The only thing that's different is the LOD. So the level of detail for like faraway objects dropped from 140 to 100 right now, and shadow quality dropped from high to medium, and basically everything else is still looking the same. I still have like 8.9, which is 9 gigabytes of VRAM, and yeah, this GPU doesn't have any VRAM issues. It has 16 gigabytes of VRAM, so yeah, it doesn't really have that problem. And as you can see, I'm still limited by GPU, and of course this is 4K. I am gonna be limited by the GPU. GPU is the limiting factor for this game in 4K, and because this GPU is not really that strong for the 9950X3D to be dropping frames or dropping anything like that. So yeah, the 9950X3D could handle this GPU in its sleep. And yeah, this game is without ray tracing right now. I don't know when they're gonna put ray tracing. I'm probably gonna do another video for that later, but right now it doesn't really have any ray tracing, and it's running pretty good. I mean, this is still 40 FPS again and again. I cannot stress this enough. This GPU is not a 4K GPU. I'm doing it just to show you that it is capable of playing 4K at a playable FPS, at a respectable FPS, but it is not really a 4K GPU. Okay, right now, FSR Performance, and as you can see, it increased my FPS to 52 instead of 38, and the 1% lows are in 48, which is, more than what I had with averages and current FPS when I had FSR quality. And it dropped the VRAM by 200 megabytes, which is right now still still the same. I would say 9 gigabytes of VRAM utilization right now. Just round up to the nearest whole number. And as you can see, the game actually is playable right now at its current condition. This is a first-person shooter, so you would actually want more I'm not saying that it's like unplayable right now. It is perfectly playable, but you would actually want more. I don't want them to swarm me, but I think they're gonna swarm me anyway, so I'm just gonna have to fight. So yeah, I don't want them to get on my business while I'm benchmarking the video. And yeah, I mean, you can see right now it is actually, as I said, like it's playable. Nothing is that bad, but you would actually need more that, not need, but you would want in a first-person shooter or like first-person game. This is not just a shooter. This is a slash as well, a hack and slash. You want like more than 60. You want 90 at minimum. You want, you know what I mean? And at 4K, this GPU cannot do it even at medium settings. But you can do it one way where you can, you know, use frame generation. Let's use frame generation. But again, frame generation is not going to give you performance. It's just going to give you more frames, which is not indicative of actually or representative of the game's performance. But hey, it's still actually, you know, well, it's not really 90 FPS. It only gave me 30 FPS more, which is double 40 right now. Because, again, frame generation, what it does is that it actually drops the base frame rate by a certain percentage, and then multiplies that by 2. So it's not a free performance, it's not a free frame rate, it does have its computational cost. So, yeah, and it increased my VRAM by like 500 megabytes right now. So, again, it's not free frame rate or free performance. It's not even performance increase, it's just a frame rate increase. It does feel smoother, it does look smoother, but it's not really, you know, below 60. I'm not, you know, I'm not gonna be the counsel on this. Some people prefer to have frame generation like at 30 FPS and say that they have no problem. Basically, for me, I have to have like 90 FPS at least. I say sometimes 60, but you know, the general rule of thumb is for me is like 90 FPS. Then enable frame generation. And right now, it's 90 FPS with frame generation, so it's not really a good you know, experience. It says, you see that right there, it says like CPU limited by CPU. That's just because let me show you something. I am stupid. I am playing this game on literally like 5 or 3 cores right now because I was I was testing something and I forgot to change that. It's running on 3 cores right now, and this game is actually gaming like my GPU is 100% utilization, as you can see, on 3 cores. And yeah, this is like 3 powerful cores because this is the latest CPU or whatnot. But hey, let's just I named them here. I named the presets from the previous CPU, but hey, it doesn't really matter. Right now, let's go back and give it the full 8 cores, and let's go back to the game. And as you can see, the CPU limitation is gone, but it's gonna come back because the way I calculated that, well, I'm gonna do that in the when I'm in 1440p. Let's go 1440p. I'm gonna explain everything after I go. Oh, I have to turn off frame generation, and then I can change the resolution. This is some, you know, this is some quirks of this game. Again, like this game has quirks. Every game has its own quirks, but yeah, let's go 1440p. Actually, let me see if there's yeah, there's FSR native. So let's go use FSR native medium settings, or actually let's go back to high settings on 1440p before I use native. Before I use medium settings. Let's see where it is. This is like 1440p right now. No frame generation, no FSR, and let's put 1440p right there. And as you can see, still on high quality settings. And let's go back. And right now you can see it's using 8.7 gigabytes of VRAM. Not bad. I mean, bad for people who have less than 8 gigabytes. But I would think that hopefully you stop buying 8 gigabyte GPUs because they are just not good. Let me just run away because these guys coming from behind me, these guys coming from in front of me, and from the sides, I don't really want to get swarmed by zombies, and they can really kill you when they swarm you. Easy to kill if they swarm you. You're easy pickings. And also, I have to keep staying. I can hear shots. I hear shots. I don't know how many arrows do I have. I only have 1 bow. And the way I forgot my train of thought, the way I calculate the limited by GPU or CPU is that I take GPU busy, which is the GPU frame time, how the GPU, how much from the GPU is busy, and compare it to the actual CPU frame time. So if one is higher, so for example, if the GPU is waiting on the CPU, even if it says 100%, sometimes it's still 100% utilization of the GPU, but it says because the GPU frame time is higher than the CPU frame time, it says like it's CPU limited because the CPU is but not bottlenecking my GPU, but it's actually affecting my GPUs. The GPU is still waiting for it. The GPU has more time to wait and just sitting idle, even if it's like 0.1 millisecond. You know what I mean? If the GPU frame time is higher, which means that the GPU is actually working and trying to do something, and the CPU frame time is lower than the GPU frame time, which means that the CPU gave all its instruction to the GPU, and it's not waiting on the engine, or it's not bottlenecking the GPU. It says that it's GPU limited. That's how I calculated it, and I put it on here. Right. Sometimes sometimes it goes CPU limited, even if it's 100% GPU utilization. Again, GPU sometimes can be like 0.000 milliseconds higher than the CPU in some instances, like rare instances, and it goes CPU limited for like a brief period, but it's not really CPU limited. It's just they are equal, but sometimes the GPU goes a little bit higher because of some fluctuation in something, but it's not really CPU limited. And just to show you something, like just to go if I oh, the VSync is already on. I was gonna say like if I use VSync, but I'm already like not in like my refresh rate. So I have to have like 144 frames to actually demonstrate this. So let's do that later when I have like 1080p output or something like that. So right now let's use not the DLSS quality again, FSR quality, and see if it's gonna bump me above 60. I hope it's gonna bump me above 60 because this is 960p upscale to 1440p, which has to be above 60. Okay, so 70 FPS, still high settings, still high quality. I don't think that I'm gonna drop it to medium with 1440p because this GPU is more than capable of doing that. And just using, you know, upscaling now with these you know, brand new upscalers, FSR 4 and DLSS 4, as I said before, they have minimal, like 1440p and 4K. I would say, you know, DLSS and FSR 4, you can use performance preset, but at 1080p it's only DLSS that you can use the performance preset with the transformer model, not DLSS 4 with the convolutional model. But yeah, with FSR, just use balanced at 1080p. It's gonna have oh shit, I missed. I didn't want to do this because I thought I have the machete, not the bow. Okay, FSR quality bumped me above 60 FPS. It was 70 above, like in the rooftops, but right now it's less than that. Oh, my rage is just full. Okay, all right. Let's save these people. Whoa, this is gruesome. This is so graphic. I wish they had like a lock-in mechanism when in beast mode. Oh. Yeah, these guys are pushing me. These guys are angry. Alright. I have like a massacre right here of zombies. And I'm not sure I'm gonna, you know, go along with the mission right now. So let's just use FSR Performance and see how that actually handles the game. I think with 1440p, I don't just think, I know that 1440p is gonna look basically the same as native 1440p because FSR quality looked better than 1440p with FSR 4, and yeah, it's like 80 FPS right now. Let's reset the 1% lows. It's well 69. Oh, now dropped to 60 FPS. What is going on? Looking this way, it's 80. Looking this way at more zombies, it's 60 FPS. So these zombies are actually very intensive to have. all these bodies laying down. It's not on the CPU because you can see the CPU, the GPU is still at 100% GPU utilization, and it's not saying it's limited by the CPU, but it's limited by the GPU. Actually, this is very intensive on the GPU itself. As you can see right now, it's using 8.3 gigabytes of VRAM, and still the same, 8 gigabytes of RAM. Yeah, this game does not really have a very big RAM utilization. I'm right here. Peekaboo. All right, let's loot these guys because I'm gonna need the loot. I'm gonna loot all of these as well. But let me just... Oh, these are... How many of these? And the good thing is that I can take the arrows back. No, not from this one. Can I take this arrow back? Please, can you give me my arrow back? Oh, this one can give me my arrow back. All right. I wasted 3 arrows. I got one back. Okay. Let's actually right now, because I'm at 60 FPS, I fear like if I drop it to the FSR quality, it's gonna drop the FPS below 60 because I want to use frame generation. But right now, let's go back and actually use FSR quality, right? Let's go back and use FSR quality. Put it right there, and settings, not TAAU, go fuck yourself, and actually apply the settings. At medium settings with FSR quality is actually more than performance, FSR performance at high settings, basically. And these guys are actually starting to disappear. I have to loot them before they go. Oh, and they leave these pouches. Okay. You leave that sack. Let me just loot them because I really need loot. And this game is, I think, as Game Ranks said it, this game is actually stingy. They have to actually loot. And you will need a lot of crafting materials to craft. So, wasn't this guy just eating this guy? How did he die? Okay, let's just, I don't really care. This guy has money. This guy has money. Alright, as you can see right now, it's 80 FPS. So why don't we go and use FSR frame generation? No, not that one. Right here. FSR frame generation right here. And upscale. Or like, not upscale, but why did it go back to 4K again? Why? Why does it always go back to 4K? Let's disable FSR again. Yeah, once they gave me the resolution change, do you agree? I know that it went back to 4K. All right, let's go and use FSR frame generation. Yeah, it goes back to 4K. I think I'm gonna have to change it within the system settings. Okay, now it's fixed 1440p and FSR frame generation at 2 times because there is no 4 times for FSR frame generation with FSR quality at medium settings. And you can see right now it's still same amount of VRAM, 8.7, as I started with 1440p, and it's still using 8 gigabytes of RAM. And as you can see, 124 FPS, 120, it was like 130, right? Like looking at that way, but yeah, I mean, you can see this game is... Where was this? These guys were like invisible. All right, come at me, come at me, come at me, you stupid zombie. All right. Okay. 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 Chill the fuck out. Let me loot them. And at 1440p with the medium settings, it's actually really, playable if you want to use FSR quality and frame generation. Frame generation is gonna smooth out every stutter. This game does not really have stutter. This game like has one of the most stable frame time. Look at that frame time. It's freaking... Why do I have... Why do I go to like... Why? I don't want to waste it. Why did he just waste it now? Okay. I don't know what button did I press. Oh yeah, probably when I just punch it, it goes to that automatically. So yeah, as I was saying, if you want frame generation to smooth out any stuttering, anything like that, it's gonna... That's what it is for. To actually increase your frame rate and to actually smooth out any you know, frame time hitches or anything like that. But the frame time for this game is pretty fucking flat. That it's more flat than flat Earth. Okay. All right. So let's move on. All right. Right now, 1080p, high quality instead of medium, with FSR native and no frame generation. Let's go back. It's 66 FPS to 70 FPS. It goes up and down. Let's reset the averages and 1% lows again, because I moved a lot through that scene, and it was 70 at one point, but it dropped down to 60. And this is high settings. As you can see, it's playing smoothly, and this is what I would say, you know, the bare minimum for frame generation if you want to use frame generation. Now it's like 70 again, and again the 1% lows dropped to 59. So no matter what, how many times you reset the 1% lows, they probably just gonna keep, you know, dropping down. But as you can see, it's pretty close to the average FPS, and it's still persistently using 8.6 gigabytes of VRAM. It's not really dropping from that much, but hey, it's fine. This GPU does not really have any problems with that. And as you can see, this game really have like, just look at this magnificent frame time, man. It's flat. It's literally flat. It's like, it has no spikes. I mean, you can see those small, you know, small spikes, but it's not really, you know, like in the bigger picture is pretty flat. It does not really have any stuttering or spikes to speak about. So yeah, let's use FSR quality, not TLS again. Like always, I forget to put FSR instead of TLSS, because again, force a habit. Okay, FSR quality, apply, and probably I was gonna say 80 FPS, and it is 80 FPS. Let's reset the 1% lows. As you can see, the 1% lows are in the 70s, so pretty close to the averages and current FPS. And these guys are gonna need the bow, and I wasted a bullet. Wait, not a bullet, an arrow. An arrow to the head, and still not dead. Okay, the arrow is just in the sky right now. Like these bugs, they're not really game breaking bugs, but they are like immersion breaking bugs. Can I get that arrow back? I think it's broken. When it breaks, I don't think you can get it back. All right, let me just get away from them a little bit. All right. Right now it was like 90 at one point, which is pretty good. You know, 90 FPS is the minimum that I would say to use frame generation, and I would say 60 is enough, but for me it's 90. But again, the minimum should be like 60 FPS. You shouldn't really use frame generation below 60 FPS. So right now, let's use FSR Performance instead of quality. And at 1080p, you should be using really balanced balanced FSR, like the LSS. But just for the sake of doing it, like, don't half-ass it. I don't want to half-ass it. So I'm just gonna go all the way to performance. All right. So as you can see right now, it's, I was gonna say it's constantly 90, but it did drop to 89. Let's as you can see, the 1% lows are actually pretty good. How the fuck did I miss that? It's using 8.3 gigabytes of VRAM, and the GPU power is like 170 watts, so it's using less than my 3060 Ti in terms of power at stock, while performing way better. Well, again, the 3060 Ti is like 4.5 years old. That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, 111 FPS now is dropping to 90 in this scene right now. I think this scene is a little bit more expensive for the GPU to run because of all these mountains and buildings and everything on screen. Take off their feet, they're not gonna be able to walk anymore. That's what I'm gonna start doing. Every zombie that I find, I'm just gonna take their like from the knee down, gone. I'm gonna take it with me home so that they don't follow me. All right, so let's use FSR frame generation with FSR quality, actually. Oh, that's DLSS quality. FSR quality. Again, force a habit. I can't do anything about it. All right, so let's go FSR frame generation. The resolution will change. Nope, I don't want the resolution to change. Okay, so it's still 1080p. And let's go back. And right now it's 144 frames per second. I think the VSync is on. Let's go back and actually remove VSync. As you can see, VSync is on. It was not saying CPU limited because it knows, the overlay knows that the engine is the limitation, not the CPU. So yeah, as you can see right now, it's 150 FPS instead of 144. Now it's 160 FPS. Let's reset the 100%, the 1% lows. They are at 100. I got confused right there. And it's still using, now it's because of frame generation again, it's using 8.8 gigabytes of VRAM and 8 gigabytes of RAM. So RAM situation is still the same. The VRAM situation is fluctuating, but it didn't go above 10 gigabytes of VRAM. It didn't even go above 9.5. It didn't even go above 9.2. It was like 9.1 something before. And now it dropped. No, actually, when I started, I forgot. No, I lied. I forgot. It was like 9.7 gigabytes of VRAM when I started with 4K. As soon as I used DLSS, it dropped to 8.8, I think, or 8.9. So, yeah, that was close to a whole gigabyte of VRAM drop. Yeah, so as you can see, the game is pretty fucking playable, even at 4K with DLSS. I mean, if with the FSR. If you want to use upscaling, then actually at 4K, you need to use upscaling. You have to use upscaling. Even if you have a high-end GPU, upscaling, it just works, okay? In the words of Jensen, it just works. Upscaling looks better than native resolution and provides better FPS, better performance, less input latency, less lag, less everything, and more FPS and more performance, and better motion clarity. It's better than TAAU, so I'm gonna stop talking. So yeah, if you like this video, like it. That helps me a lot. If you dislike it, dislike it. That's not gonna help me, but hey, that's your choice. And subscribe. That helps me a lot too if you subscribe to the channel. And see you in the next video. Ciao.